But you just have to be careful about what kind of miracles you are talking about. Like one supposed miracle is how the Quran describes the moon as munir, and the sun as a kind, the shams as a source of light, but the moon reflects light as munir. That's what is implied by the Arabic word munir. So this is a scientific miracle, supposedly, that, wow, see, we know now, according to 21st century or 20th century, that the sun is a source of light and the moon is a reflection or a reflector of light. This is a miracle. This shows that only the Quran could have only come from Allah. But this is not a very convincing argument, because at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, even the non-Muslims knew, even the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, knew that the moon is not is like a rock. The moon has, you can see on a clear night when there's no light pollution, you can see the shadows on the moon. It's very clear that the moon is not a source of light, whereas the sun is radiating a bright, bright light. So this is silly if you try to make this argument, and it makes it seem like you don't really know the history of science or the history of astronomy. The Greeks and also the Romans had very sophisticated calendars when it comes to the motion of the constellations, the motion of the stars and the planets. Ptolemy, they were very sophisticated in this regard. So that information was available because the Arabs at the time of the 7th century and the Prophet ﷺ, they were using those calculations for navigation purposes in those ancient times. So they weren't completely ignorant of many of the astronomical facts that are known today. In fact, they not only knew about them, they had a mastery over them. So, I mean, you have to recognize, like, you shouldn't consider, many of these scientific miracles are predicated on the idea that people of the past were just so stupid and so ignorant about the natural world and basic facts about the earth and astronomy. But this is not correct. It's not scientifically accurate, and it makes the argument fail in a miserable way.